What's happening, YouTube? Moto Meat here. Working on some Mad Max stuff. What I call Mad Max in your vehicle is just taking weight off and kind of making it a little crazy just to save some gas. So that's the Mad Max world, is getting better gas mileage. And, you know, like in the Mad Max videos or movies, I mean, they were stealing gas. So I don't want to have steal gas. I just want to get better gas mileage. And what that involves is taking out the subwoofers. Like I'll show you this. Oh man, that's heavy. That right there is the subwoofer. Well, one of them, okay. And that's just the subwoofer. I had an 18 in here, and that weighed, with the box, maybe 75 pounds. And then I went down to a 10, and that box went down to like, I don't know, 30 pounds. But then you have to add the amp in, was 10 or 15 pounds also. It was a pretty big amp. So this right here alone, this speaker alone with that big magnet, is nearly as heavy as this whole box with an 8 and the amp integrated amplifier alone. So let me tell you what I did here though. So I installed this baby, this sweet little baby, and I'll talk to you about like I'll talk to you about the sound check and everything. I installed it. I had it over on that side, and this thing doesn't bump that hard. I'm just gonna say it. It's more of like not mid bass, but it's not a super deep bass. It produces some deep bass, but it puts more of a kick drum into your music than a sub. This guy had like not much kick drum in it and a lot of low. So most people like deep bass, I understand. And for that, it takes a lot of X-Max and a large magnet, okay? So there, I'll tell you why I had this woofer in the car here. So I wasn't super happy, I'll be honest. I wasn't super happy with the bass. And I said, maybe it's the quality of the subwoofer, the actual just woofer in there. Because this just has a cheeky, it's a cheeky little 8. It's a cheap 8-inch. I know it's not high quality. So this one I knew bassed hard, so I just thought I'd check it out. But don't think you're going to swap out the subwoofer, because most of them are larger. This is a large frame 8, and it won't fit in here. This is a small frame box, okay? So that's what I figured out. I was just going to test it out and ended up not being able to do it. So, and I know I wanted to lose weight, and by putting that back in, it would gain weight. But I basically did it anyways. I checked it out. I opened it up, and it didn't work. So I didn't even get to test it. But then, what I did is I put it behind my back seat. And it might work better in the back area back there. But I didn't have the length in the RCA and all that, so I just said screw it. I put it behind my back seat, and it allowed it to bump a little bit harder. You could feel a little bit more of the shake in your seat, and we all know that makes you feel the bass a little bit more than you're going to mentally hear it more even. So it's decent. It's not high powered. It has a good punch to it, but not a super low. But, if you're looking for bass at a low cost, I got this used on Amazon. It's a repackaged unit there. As you can see right here, it says Amazon renewed. So it was pretty much brand new. I mean, the dog hair on here is for me. This thing was brand new. And it's not bad. It has a high level input, okay? So you don't have to have RCAs. And it even has a high level output. You can run an MP3 player into it, which is kind of pointless because it's not a full range speaker. And it has full range or bass. I do not know who would use this for full range, so that's pretty worthless. It has a low pass filter on it, and I kept it low because I didn't need it to go up to 250 hertz. It kind of got honky, and the one thing I like about it is it doesn't require very, very large power or ground wire. And then it has RCA input also, which is what I used. And then the volume down there, it's down under here. It's right next to the MP3 input, but it is the gain or the volume of the amp. So I left the low pass filter really low and then turned the volume down a little bit from max. I didn't max it out. Has a nice little bass port back here. And then I put the straps on it just to keep it from rolling around my car and messing up the wiring and stuff. And it won't go flying if you get in a wreck or anything like that. But I'll keep this video kind of short and sweet. It doesn't hit super hard. Don't expect it to be super thunder, but it will add a little bit of boom boom to your car. And it's much better than not having a subwoofer if you like music. So I do recommend it, and it is 13 pounds for the whole thing. That's why I got it, just because that subwoofer, this little 8 right here is probably almost 13 pounds alone. And then the box, and then the amp. Although this does sound 10 times better, I'll be honest, it hits way lower, but this has a nice punch to it. So it has its own little use. It's basically exactly what I wanted. Obviously I would want more bass and it to be light, but you can't get everything you want. So it is what it is. And I say it's worth it. I paid $60 and I think they're $90 new. So I guess it's worth $90, but I mean, it's not really, for a deep bass person, I wouldn't recommend it. For somebody that's looking to add a little bit of bump to their car, I would recommend it, but that's about it. You're not going to get thunderous bass out of this, and don't expect thunderous bass out of it at all. So it is much better than not having one though. So, all right guys, Moto Meat out.